Welcome to Everything Football. So the Champions League draw has been made, and we know who is going to face who in the next round, the round of 16. So we will do a draft. I'm looking at which teams you should be targeting. But remember, the Champions League does not return for the next 3 months up until February, Valentine's Day. That's when you're going to get the Champions League games. So players might be back from injuries. Players might be injured by then. Players might have transferred away from the teams in January. And obviously, there's whole another tournament before then at the World Cup. So a lot might happen. But this is just to give us a rough idea of how the draw went and which teams you should be targeting no matter what. So we've got 8 very, very good ties. First up, Leipzig against Man City. Right away, Man City jump out right there. Very, very good fixture for them. I'm sure they wanted like a Leipzig or a Club Brugge. Obviously, they played together last season. I think there's a game that ended something crazy. Was it like 5-3 or 6-4, something like that? There's a game they played at the Etihad last season. It was full of goals. So they will go to Leipzig first. And then after that, we will have Club Brugge against Benfica. So I think both teams getting rewarded because Club Brugge ended up getting qualifying in that group that no one expected them to. So I think it's good for them that they get Benfica and avoid the other big boys. I mean, Benfica is still a good team, but I would assume they would have wanted Benfica instead of like a Real Madrid or something like that. So I think that is a good fixture for them for sure as well. And Benfica as well getting rewarded, getting Club Brugge instead of the other bigger boys like the top guys because they finished first in the final day. That final minute, the last minute goal really, really helped them. Otherwise, they would have been up against Bayern Munich because that is who PSG got, the team that finished second in Benfica's group. Liverpool against Real Madrid. Very, very good fixture there. That is the next, that was the last Champions League final last year, so that is big there. And then AC Milan against Tottenham. Tottenham obviously got first in the last day, and AC Milan finished second in their group. They qualified on the last day as well. I mean, if Tottenham finished second in that group, they would have been up against Napoli, which would have been a very, very tricky fixture for them. So I think they would prefer AC Milan to Napoli as of now. Frankfurt against Napoli. Napoli once again, just like Benfica, they're getting rewarded for finishing top of their group with a good fixture against Europa League champions Frankfurt. BVB, Dortmund against Chelsea. That is an interesting tie right there. And then Inter Milan against FC Porto. And then finally the big one, PSG against Bayern Munich. What a fixture that will be. We will lose one team here, Bayern Munich or PSG. Some people would have both of them as favorites. And interestingly enough, just like Liverpool, Real Madrid earlier this year, Bayern Munich and PSG was a Champions League final game 2 years ago. So these are big fixtures that we have in the round of 16. So let me know which fixtures you're looking forward to most. So since we know the fixtures, again, there's a couple of things we still don't know. Which days these games will be played, which teams will play first, which teams will play second. So that is why this draft will have a lot of changes by the time we get to next year. So let's take a look at what I am thinking of. So the fixtures are scrolling down the bottom. Let's start. Let's start with which teams I am thinking of. So obviously Man City jump out, Benfica jump out right away as well. I think Bayern Munich, PSG, maybe one player each, but I will start with this guy, Jude Bellingham in midfield, up against Chelsea. Chelsea have looked very quite bad conceding goals recently, but obviously this game is in 3 months' time, so a lot might happen by then. They might not even have this manager, or maybe they would have bought players in the January transfer window. But Bellingham this season has been superb, like 11 points in match day 1, 13 points in match day 3, and 11 points in match day 4 as well. He's picked up he's picked up 4 goals this season. He also has 1 assist. He got player of the match 2 times and 28 ball recoveries, which has have got him 8 points. So Bellingham would be a very good pick even next year. Even I don't think whatever happens, unless he has an injury or something, I think he will be in a lot of teams next year. Next up, I think we have to go to Man City up against Leipzig. I'm expecting a lot of goals. They still have Haaland injured here, but he's fit. Hopefully he's fit by then. But Erling Haaland, he missed a couple of games at the end of the Champions League group stage. Match day 4 didn't play against Copenhagen. Match day 6 didn't play against Sevilla. So he's only played 4 games, and one of them he came off at halftime, and he's still done the job. 5 goals already this season. If he played all the games, could have been almost 10 goals. So Haaland is an obvious pick. And I've also gone for Joao Cancelo once again. goals, assists, clean sheets up against Leipzig. I think that is great for him. He's already picked up 29 ball recoveries, 8 points, 4 assists, 2 clean sheets, and the clean sheets would have been more because he's also gotten subbed off early. He only played 5 minutes against Sevilla. He only played 45 minutes against Dortmund. He also played 57 minutes against Copenhagen. So right now he does have 36 points, but this could easily have been like 50 points if he had played at least 2 of those games to the 90th minute. So Cancelo is in the team as well. And I think since they're playing Leipzig, I think that is a very good fixture for City. I think you have to triple up. So it's literally up to you whether you want to go for Ederson, Diaz, or De Bruyne or Foden, but I'm going to include De Bruyne there. I think when Haaland scores, De Bruyne will be assisting, and he's done so well as once again this season in the Premier League. He's shining, and he's one of those players who will have to play, and he's already picked up 2 Player of the Match awards so far this season, despite not featuring in Matchday 5 and also in Matchday 3. So brilliant player, De Bruyne. So that is Man City done. I still think even if they're playing PSG, that fixture between Bayern Munich and PSG, I still think we have to go for the big boys from those games because they will still score. I'm expecting like 3-2s and 4-2s and stuff like that. So Kylian Mbappe is still there up against Bayern Munich. I think he takes the penalties and he's always a very good option. He currently has 62 points. I think he's the highest scoring player so far. 3 assists, 7 goals, 4 Player of the Match awards in 6 games. That is just absolutely superb. So Kylian Mbappe is there, and then Leroy Sané as well. He will be fit by then. I think is a very good option. Once again, he didn't even play in Matchday 5 and 6, but he already has 40 points, including 14 points against Inter Milan and 12 points against Pils. And then the thing with Bayern and players like Sané, they don't care which teams they're playing against. I mean, in the group stage, they had Barcelona and Inter Milan, and they finished with 18 points. So they beat those teams home and away. So don't be surprised if they beat PSG home and away as well. These guys are a machine. So Sané is in the team as well. And then next up, I think Napoli have some really good fixtures, some 2 good fixtures home and away against Frankfurt. I think they would have definitely wanted that. So I am going to definitely pick Kvaratskhelia once again. He is a very good option. By the way, another thing you need to know that I should have mentioned at the beginning, when you go into the knockout stage, your budget increases from 100 million to 105 million because players have increased in prices, and also the cheaper players, since the 16 teams are out, it's basically remaining the bigger teams, and most of their players are expensive. So that is why. So Kvaratskhelia is in the team as well, and I think you have to go for Di Lorenzo as well. He's been fantastic so far this season. 13 points in Matchday 3 against Ajax. He scored Player of the Match there. He got 11 points against Rangers in Matchday 5 as well, and he already has 43 ball recoveries, which has got him 12 points. Fantastic option once again. And I don't think it's a crazy idea to triple up on them. I do not think it's a crazy idea. By next year, we will see what happens. But right away, I thought about Osimhen because he's been scoring lately once again, and I think he will be a good option for next year. So I will triple up on Napoli as well, but we will see what happens by the time these fixtures get closer. Chelsea are playing Dortmund. As I said, they put in Bellingham. Chelsea, we have to wait and see whether someone like Reece James will be back, but he could be a good option by then. We also have Inter Milan, FC Porto. Can we go to that fixture as well? Maybe. FC Porto looking really good, especially one player from that game, and I am going to go for their from that team, and I'm going to go for their goalkeeper. That is Costa. Now, as of now, we still don't know which players are playing on the Tuesday, on the Wednesday, on the first week, on the second week, but I'm going to have Costa there. He's just been magnificent this season, and he's looking very good in terms of saving penalties. So I think it's a good option. 16 points, 15 points, 12 points for a goalkeeper is just crazy. Like he's already saved 3 penalties this season, and in that game, one of those games, he actually saved another penalty, but it was retaken and he saved it again. So he's basically saved 4 penalties. And in terms of just players overall, I think he's the 4th highest scoring player, which is absolutely crazy. Let's go to Real Madrid. I think the likes of Valverde, Vinicius, Benzema, all good options. I was thinking about Salah as well, but I am going to go for Vinicius because the last time he came up against Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, absolutely destroyed their right backs. And up against Trent Alexander-Arnold, who loves to attack, I think Vinicius will definitely be licking his lips for this one. So Vinicius is the midfield I've gone for from Real Madrid. I've thought about Inter Milan, FC Porto in terms of Inter Milan defenders, PSG, Bayern Munich in terms of defenders. But I am going to go for Benfica. Once again, Benfica up against Club Brugge. I think there's a possibility one of those games ends in a 0-0. I have a feeling one of those games will end in a 0-0, probably the one at Club Brugge. So I'm going to go for Grimaldo. They are fantastic this season. He's got a couple of goals, a couple of assists. Let me just confirm that. He has 2 goals, he has 2 assists, he has 31 ball recoveries, player of the match as well. 20 points in match day 1, 12 points in match day 6. What a guy, even scored from a free kick. So he makes the difference, and he's not the only one who's going to make it from that fixture. I'm going to go for a Club Brugge player, and I am going to go for Major. Hopefully by then he's still a Club Brugge player and he's still playing, so 4.3 there, not bad. So we have only 14.9 million to go for 3 positions. So which positions are we going to go for? We definitely have to go for a couple of cheaper players. Probably the goalkeeper has to be cheaper, so let's just check goalkeeper. Mignolet, double up on them. I think it's a bit too much. Onana of Inter Milan against FC Porto, I don't think it's bad, but they're playing in the same fixture, so you can't go for both of them. But Courtois up against Liverpool, I think you'll have a couple of save points, so I'm really thinking about getting him in, or Lloris against AC Milan. For now, I'm going to go for Lloris against AC Milan. Tottenham love defending, so like a clean sheet somewhere there. So we only have 9.4 for 2 positions, which means we have to get like a cheaper defender and a cheaper midfielder. So we have to go for someone from one of the cheaper, not cheaper teams, but the cheap options from any of those teams. So we can't go for the fullbacks who are quite expensive, but midfielders could be an option. Maybe Leipzig or something like that. Let's just take a look at Leipzig players. Let's see how much they are at the moment. Obviously you can't afford the likes of Kunku, but defender wise, up against Man City, it will be tough. So there's another option. You could go for the Leipzig goalkeeper, hoping Man City take a lot of shots, which they probably will, so that you can get a couple of points in terms of save points. But let's forgo for Simekan from that fixture, and that means we'll only have 4.6 million remaining in terms of midfielder, which is a bit low. So maybe you'll have to change it somewhere. I had not done any plans for this one, so next year we'll do more breakdown on it, but this is just a random draft. I'm looking at the best fixtures. 4.6 will not get you that many good midfielders. You could go for Florentino, but this season has not been that great, only 22 points. In terms of ball recoveries, let me check how many ball recoveries he has so far. 39 ball recoveries is not bad, you know. He always gets you a minimum of 3 points, but obviously I still think you can get better midfielders in terms of this. You can even downgrade listen, let's try and downgrade De Bruyne. I think if you downgrade De Bruyne, you'll get money to use elsewhere for sure. So let's go with Phil Foden, who is only going to cost you 8.4. So that leaves you around 6.7, and all of a sudden you have enough money to spend elsewhere. So 6.7 will allows you to do more with your team. You can go for someone like a Valverde. You can go for did I put, where did Vinicius go? Vinicius disappeared. You need to get Vinicius into this team. So let's put in Vinicius. I do not know where the hell he went. You could go for Valverde, but I think Vinicius is such a good option that I'm not going to ignore him. So let me go to Real Madrid and put in Vinicius. Let's see Vinicius, 10 million. So that will take us to minus 3.3 million. So definitely you have to get this money elsewhere. This team is quite expensive, and this is the 105 million budget, and I don't think you can drop Haaland. Mbappe, you can go for Messi, but I think Mbappe is almost a must-own. You can downgrade Osimhen if you prefer, but he has a really good fixture if you downgrade Osimhen, or you could just simply remove Vinicius and play Valverde and then just return Osimhen to the team. Literally up to you, but as of now, literally we have to wait and see. A lot can happen between now and then, but this can give you an idea. No matter what happens, it's still going to be a triple up on Man City, at least 2 players on Napoli, at least 1 player from Real Madrid, at least 1 or 2 players from Benfica, and then might end up with Salah, because Salah always scores points against anyone as well. He doesn't enjoy games against Real Madrid, but it could be anything. So with this, you're only left with 0.1 million in the bank. So that is pretty interesting. So let me know what you make of this team. Let me know which fixture you're looking forward to the most in the round of 16. I've put a poll in the community tab as well, so make sure to vote there. This is just the first draft, but this is the last Champions League draft until next year. We are now turning our focus to the World Cup fantasy. We will have a lot of content for that one, but as of now, thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you on the next one.